So the program is for people with 0 to 3 years of experience. I mean, if you talk about benefits, obviously there's like free accommodation.
What all is needed? What all did you do? Is there any steps you recommend people? All about that.
I think the biggest benefit, at least for me, it's not the financial element. I think the biggest benefits are more, you really change a lot as a person. You develop a lot of soft skills. You get a lot of C-suite exposure. You're presenting to investors, VCs. No, it is something to be grateful about for sure. You get a living allowance. You get flights back to your home country after the program. Essentially, you don't have to worry about any costs.
There's a general perception out there that DBA is against Indians. They don't give Indians admission. Can you walk me through the application process? Because there's literally no one talking about the application process. Any tips for someone who is right now making their DBA application right now?
I would say,
have you recently heard that Dubai government is paying you to study in Dubai? Your food, your rent, everything gets covered. Probably you saw a reel. In today's video, I have Ritika with me, who is doing the Dubai Business Associate program, the reel that you've been watching on your feed. She's an Indian student who studied her bachelor's from Cambridge University and ended up getting into Dubai Business Associate programs. And in this video, we'll talk about how do you get into this program? What actually do you get in this program? What do you study in this program? Also, how do you get into Cambridge or any other top university? So, if you're right now in college or even in school, or even if you're a working professional, this video is going to be very important because we'll not only talk about Dubai Business Associate, we'll in general talk about the entire process of applying to international organizations and international programs. So sit back, relax, and also take notes. And yeah, please do hit the subscribe button because it takes a lot of efforts to make such videos. Okay. What is Dubai Business Associate? Because people have been hearing that it's fully funded. Dubai government pays you to study in Dubai. But what is it? Like, what are you studying basically?
well, so it's a combination of a bunch of different things. So I would say about 50% of the program is studying, but it's not studying in the traditional sense. So I'm not like reading textbooks. You have classes, but it's not just someone delivering a lecture and talking at you. It's a lot more interactive. So we have had classes on Excel, we've had classes on financial modeling, but then also a 2-week entrepreneurship bootcamp where they essentially talk you through how to come up with a business idea, how to pitch that to a panel of investors. So you get classes, but it's not what you would expect from a traditional MBA program or a master's program in finance. It's not like that. It's a lot more hands-on. Then the other half is applying all of that in practical settings. So that's 2.5 month internship with a Dubai-based company, and then a 3-month consulting project with another Dubai-based company where you essentially deliver a consulting project to them.
So you find the internship yourself or they find it for you?
So they have a bunch of placement partners, and you will get an internship with any one of those placement partners.
So basically,
it is already it is sorted, but you express your preference. You get interviewed by them once or twice, depending on the needs of the placement organization. So it is sorted through DBA, but you also have to interview for them.
And what about the other project that you talked about?
The consulting project? Yeah, that would be similar as well. You normally get to express your preference. The consulting project is different because with the internship, they have a lot of placement partners. So you have like 1 or 2 people in one placement organization. But the consulting project is teams of 5 to 6. It's basically you deliver a consulting. You're not working for the organization. You're still working for Falcon, which is the organization that runs DBA.
Okay.
And you deliver a consulting project to them.
This is interesting because what it seems like is you're basically doing an MBA, it's like sort of an MBA because you're studying finance, you're studying a bit about entrepreneurship. I'm just guessing, but you would be studying a bit of marketing.
Yeah.
So it is sort of an MBA in terms of the course structure.
Yes.
And it does have internship, it does have consulting projects. So seems like an MBA. How many people are there in the classroom?
So it's 26 of us. That's quite similar every year.
You know, this is one of the most sought after program right now in India.
Yeah.
Just because influencers have been talking about you get paid to study in Dubai. So how did you feel when you actually got in?
So I was actually waitlisted originally.
Oh, okay.
And I was then sending emails to the program directors being like, Do you remember me? I still really want the program, and then essentially I ended up getting off the wait list because somebody else dropped out. I feel like I felt, I mean, you obviously feel happy, but I think I was just very relieved. I was about to graduate. I did not have a concrete plan of what I was doing next. And I really wanted when I saw the program, it just felt like the right opportunity for me because I wanted something to bridge kind of academia and the professional world. I feel like I wasn't ready to just go working without this sort of bridge. So I feel like it was really what I needed at the moment.
Can you walk me through your profile?
Okay.
Like, what all did you do?
So I was born and raised in India. I studied humanities at school. I was doing CBSE. But after that, I wanted to go to Cambridge, and they require you to do like additional qualifications on top of CBSE. So I was also managing advanced placement exams at the same time, which I like.
APs?
Yeah. So I was doing those at the same time. Not a fun experience, but that's what eventually got me into Cambridge, where I studied human, social, and political sciences for 3 years, graduated in July 2025. When I was at Cambridge, I found out about the Dubai Business Associates program, which is basically a 9-month program run under the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, where you combine academic training, internships, and a consulting project, which is essentially what I'm doing now, halfway through the program already, which feels a bit scary. But
It's already been halfway through.
yeah, I started in September 1st, so halfway through.
Can you walk me through the application process? Because there's literally no one talking about the application process. What all is needed? What all did you do? Is there any steps you recommend people? All about that.
Okay, so I'll break this down into two parts. Firstly, kind of what the application process entails and what I did.
Okay.
So essentially, the first stage is a CV, a cover letter, and a 90-second video where you talk about. It's basically just bringing your CV to life. You talk about why Dubai, why you, why DBA, why these placement partners. They like how specific you can be. Once you get through that, you just have 2 interviews. So quite straightforward compared to a lot of other graduate programs you apply to. In terms of what I did, I feel like if you try to be someone you're not, they will be able to tell.
Okay.
So I think the key was just kind of being authentic. Like, it's not like there isn't anything that I would say that I did specifically to get into DBA. I was just being myself, and I talked a lot about why this was the right opportunity for me. Also, I think one mistake that a lot of people make is that they talk a lot about why this program, which is good, but then they don't talk about what they can bring to the program. But when it's a small program with only 26 people, they want to see that you can contribute back to DBA eventually, which is something I did focus on as well.
How did you do that? Like, okay, for my audience, you're 21.
Yes.
What can you contribute back to DBA?
I mean, it doesn't have to be something like really major. So I talked about kind of being someone who likes different cultures, who's lived in different countries, and being able to be a global ambassador and promote Dubai to both the East and the West. Like, I talked about how I was born and raised in India, then I went to Cambridge, which means that I had a good blend of both those elements. So that's what I talked about. But then there are so many other things you can talk about. So another example would be that how you can talk about any student leadership roles that you have, and how you always give back to the community. So once you graduate from DBA, how you would give back to incoming DBA people and associates, help them in their journeys, things like that. So it doesn't have to be like, nobody's expecting you to be able to do something revolutionary, but just being able to show that you think about more than just yourself. I think that's quite important.
That's so important. Like, when you were saying this, I was just instantly reminded of people asking me that, Murad, how do I show this to the university that I'll give back to the university? Like, what do I show? And how you just explained such a small thing. Basically, it's a small thing, but how you explained it, it didn't feel like it's small.
Really?
It's so was this the same thing that you used with Cambridge? Or like, I don't know if you remember your application process of Cambridge because it's like 4 years ago. But do you remember any of it?
So Cambridge would be very different from this. I think with Cambridge, it was a lot more about academics, kind of showing reading and interest and engagement for the subject beyond just your school. So they want to they want to see how you've been thinking about it. So I referenced specific books I'd read, but I engaged quite critically with them. I talked about which points I disagreed with, or when I agreed with
Which
them.
points you disagreed with?
Yes, and because I feel like if you're able to show that you haven't really just taken something in from a scholar and just taken it for granted, but you're actually questioning those things, that shows critical engagement, and that's essentially what they're looking for, right? But also, even if I agreed with something, I would talk about an example that I had seen in contemporary times and how I feel like that resonates with what the scholar was saying. So I think that was quite helpful.
So a breakdown would be Cambridge was much more academic in terms of your application,
Yeah.
and DBA was much more practical, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there is no one, like if you think of all 26 of us, we come from different backgrounds, different countries, just so different. So I don't think there is like one secret way of getting in. It's not like that. At the end of the day, they want a diverse class because, yes, you're learning in the classes, you're learning through your internships, but I would say that most of my learning has happened just by exposure to 25 other incredibly diverse but incredibly competent people. And that's what they want because they want to kind of cultivate that kind of environment and atmosphere. So yeah, I think I lost my chain of thought and I forgot what the question was.
No, but I have a very important question following up to that. You said 26 people in the classroom. There's a general perception out there that DBA is against Indians. They don't give Indians admission. I'm sitting with someone who's Indian who is doing the DBA program. What is your take on it?
Okay, so like people normally say that they don't accept many Indians. I think there's a literal answer to that, and then there's like an implied answer to that. So literally that would be true, but it would be true of any nationality. Like you can replace the word Indians with any nationality, and it would still be true just because
There are
of how
26.
small the program is. So it's not like one nationality is overrepresented compared to the other. But I think when people say that, what they're implying is that there's some sort of inherent bias against Indians, which is not true at all. So in terms of nationality, I'm the only Indian on the program, but in terms of ethnicity, we have 3 people, including me, but there have also been 2 other Indians born and raised in India, studying in India, who also went to DBA. One last year who studied at OP Jindal, one the year before who studied at Jamia. So this perception of them either wanting kind of people who are not Indian or who somehow don't have Indian roots, I don't see where that comes from because it's just not true.
You just said that there are 3 people who have some affiliation or ethnicity from India
Yeah.
in the program.
And there's only 26 people, so
That's more than 10%.
Exactly. Yeah, and there's only one other nationality with the same representation, and that's China.
Obviously.
Because India and China have the largest populations. So I think that just comes from a bit of a misconception about how it's a small program. So essentially, you're not going to find like 20 Indians,
I also get a sense, I got a feeling that because there's so much awareness about this program in India,
Yeah.
like I posted a reel, it got 8 million views. There's someone else who posted a reel, it got 8 million views. So they're like essentially 40, 50 million Indians watching this reel. Maybe 100,000 of them are applying. And only 3 or 4 are going to get in. So the people would inherently think that there is a bias against Indians.
Yeah.
But it's just because the number of applications coming in are just so much.
Also, every time I speak to an Indian person who reaches out to me on LinkedIn about this, I think one mistake that a lot of Indians make when they're applying is that they don't really focus on the why, the why part. You can replace their answer with any part of the world, and it would still make sense because for them, they're just looking for an opportunity to leave India and get good working opportunities. But then you can find that in the UK, you can find that in so many other countries of the world. So why do you want Dubai specifically? And there are a lot of things that are unique about Dubai. It's one of the world's most diverse cities. It's one of the world's most aspirational cities. And these are things that they don't talk about. So you could replace their answer with any other developed place in the world, which means that it's inherently a weak answer.
Coming to your SOPs, this is what I wanted to talk about next. What did you mention in your Dubai Business Associate SOP?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's going to sound very like generic, but yeah, why Dubai? Why DBA? Why me? But when I say that, that was the general structure, but I made it very, very specific. So when you say why DBA, they would really like if you are able to talk about the specific placement partners or organizations you want to work with, because it shows you've done your research. I went to an information session at Cambridge, and I found out a lot about the program there. So I name dropped that. But even if you haven't, even if your university does not have that, you can still show that you've done your research. You've spoken to people who are currently on the program. There's a lot you can say to show that this is not just a random program you apply to, but you are the right fit for it.
I think that's very important because, as you said, when I read people's SOP myself, if there are 5 paragraphs, 4 paragraphs are same for every university.
Yeah.
And then the 5th paragraph has the name which gets changed.
Yeah.
So it will change from Dubai Business Associate to Cambridge Top University to Rhodes Scholarship. Rest everything would be same. And then people somehow expect that they will get this.
And it wouldn't work in this case at all, just because of how unique the program is. Like, I don't know about you, but I haven't found any program in the world that is similar to this.
There are a few programs that are similar to this, but none of them have the appeal just because of the benefits you're getting. Can we talk about the benefits, please? What are we getting in this?
I mean, if you talk about benefits, obviously there's like free accommodation.
Okay. And the accommodation is really good.
Yeah,
You're living
so-
in one of the best places of Dubai.
Yeah, no, it is something to be grateful about for sure. You get a living allowance, you get flights to your home country, back to your home country after the program. So there are all of these hard benefits. You also get a living allowance. Essentially, you don't have to worry about any costs when you're here because everything is covered. But I think the biggest benefit, at least for me, it's not the financial element. Like if you stress on that, there are so many other places you can get financial benefits from. Like if you go for an investment banking or a consulting job, you will earn more. I don't think that's the biggest benefit of the program. I think the biggest benefits are more, you really change a lot as a person. You develop a lot of soft skills. You get a lot of C-suite exposure. You are presenting to C-level executives. You're presenting to investors, VCs. And I just feel like at this age, I would find it very difficult to get those kind of learning opportunities everywhere else. So yes, that a lot of people talk about the benefits, but I feel like, and that's very important, but I feel like that's a very small part of what the program actually offers.
So, talking about the classroom, who all are in the classroom? Because I think you're the youngest, amongst the youngest.
Yes.
What does the rest of the classroom look like? What kind of experience are they bringing? Consulting experience? Because I think there's like, you need to have less than 3 years of work experience.
Yeah, so the program is for people with 0 to 3 years of experience. And that when we have a broad range of people. So I'm the youngest, but then there are also other people who just finished university. So I would say there are about 4 or 5 of us kind of straight after university, with the only experience being kind of internships, extracurriculars, university societies, that sort of thing. But then we also have a few people who are like 27, 28 who've done their masters. Some even do their MBAs before. They've had like 3 years of work experience, but it's not. I mean, there are people with consulting or finance kind of backgrounds, but it is more broad. Like there's a girl who was studying law. There's a girl who was studying food science. So I would say it is very diverse, and that's what they want. Like they don't want a classroom full of 26 people who used to work at McKinsey. That's not what they want. They want people to be able to complement each other's skill sets. And also, I think that goes back to the nationality aspect as well. They're not going to have a classroom full of 25 Indians, not because Indians aren't good enough, but because they want that cross-cultural collaboration. They want people to be able to learn from each other.
Do you have any idea which schools are these people coming from? Like, are these all top students, like all top university students like Cambridge and all? I would say Cambridge is number 2 though.
No, I think you're very wrong about that.
Come on. Like, you're doing so well, but let's just believe that Cambridge is number 2.
No, Cambridge is
You
number
can't
one.
say Cambridge is better than Oxford. Right?
I feel like the fact that you have to say that shows that you're quite insecure about Oxford being.
I am not.
You are.
I just wanted to like put it out there.
You're wrong. Cambridge is the best university in the world, just to put it out there. I think I feel like there is an inherent. I don't think I quite agree with the framing of your question. So when you say kind of top universities, I think what you are actually saying is like globally recognized
Yeah.
elite universities. I would say everyone comes from top universities, but they don't have to be elite, prestigious universities with that kind of global brand value.
No, I
So
get it. Like someone who's coming from, let's suppose, Lebanon is coming from
yes,
the best university of Lebanon.
exactly. So even the two people from India before, Jamia, OP Jindal, these are good universities,
Or
right?
they're not the best
But
universities in India, but,
they're
they're
good
good
enough
universities.
universities,
Yeah.
right?
Jamia is a decent university. OP Jindal is an okay university.
I'm not sure I want to enter that debate on camera.
Okay.
But I mean, my point is that
They're not the best universities in India.
yeah, true. But the people who got in, they did like academically very well to
Yeah.
get there. So they were like top of their class, and there is all of that is for sure.
So do you think, okay, let me put this question out. Do you think everyone in the classroom was maybe top of their class?
I would assume so. I mean, everyone is definite. Like when I'm sitting in that classroom, I can feel that I am the least experienced, least smart person in the room, but that's where I want to be.
Did you feel the same in Cambridge?
For sure. I mean, not the least experienced because we're the same age, but but I mean, for me, that's not something that overwhelms me or scares me. It's actually the other way around that scares me. That if I feel like I'm in the smart, I mean, it's a very cliche quote, right? If you're the
If you're the smartest in the room, then
you're in the wrong room.
Yeah.
But I genuinely believe that. Like, if I'm in a room and I feel like everyone else is dumb, for the lack of a better word, I feel like there is something in my life that I'm doing wrong because I'm not stretching myself enough. Here, I genuinely feel like I've stretched myself a lot. Like, sometimes we have these assessments, which are essentially like group projects, and you end up presenting to really important people in Dubai. So our first assessment, we presented to a bunch of C-suite executives, and I was so scared. I was not able to maintain eye contact. I don't think I had the best presentation, and I feel like that was quite obvious. We had another one about 2 weeks ago in front of real investors and VCs, and I was able to do much better, and I got that feedback directly from the CEO of Falcon, which was so rewarding for me.
What would you want to say to young Ritika, who is right now 15, probably watching this video, or maybe 20, didn't go abroad to study?
I'm 21.
No. 20 is younger than you.
Yeah.
And yeah, didn't end up going abroad to study.
Okay.
So right after their school, they ended up going to Delhi University, let's suppose, and didn't get into Cambridge and went to Delhi University. What's your recommendation for them?
I think at the end of the day, I can't predict how things would have turned out if I hadn't done what I did. But essentially, I think I genuinely believe that things work out in the end if you do things with the right intention, if you are persistent. For me, for example, moving to Dubai was never a part of my plan. I had a very fixed plan. I wanted to remain in the UK, work in consulting or something of that sort. That didn't pan out. I did over 100 applications, had one offer for something I really did not want.
You did over 100 applications.
And I was rejected by most of them.
Wow. This is what we were talking before coming here on camera as well,
Yeah.
that you apply for so many things.
And people see the ones you get accepted for and think, oh my God, this person has their life sorted. But we know that that's not true. We apply to over hundreds of things and one of them works out.
They did not see the 99 applications you got
Exactly.
like a rejection mail from, that, oh, you didn't get this, you didn't get that. Like, obviously you got into one of the most sought after programs right now
Yeah.
for an Indian, but you also did not get into 99 programs, which people don't get to see.
Yeah, and as a reminder for the program, I was originally waitlisted. So it's not as straightforward as it looks. But I feel like if something has to happen, it eventually would happen.
Was Cambridge as straightforward?
In terms of
Admissions?
not at all. I did not know that Cambridge does not accept CBSE independently for a very long time. I literally registered for the AP exams the day the registrations were closing. So if I did not do that, I would not be at Cambridge because I would not have been eligible to apply.
How many APs did you do?
6.
You did 6 APs?
So you need a score of 5 in 5, and I wanted to do 6 just in case I messed one up.
Wow. Was it like microeconomics and all that you did?
Yeah, I did macroeconomics and then English language and composition, and then 4 other humanities subjects.
Nothing in algebra, no maths.
No, I'm not a STEM person.
Okay, interesting. And you think, other than Cambridge, where else did you apply?
LSE, Manchester, Warwick, and King's. I actually got
I'm
rejected
missing
from
out.
LSE.
I'm missing out one important. Like I think you're missing out on one
I
important
don't
name.
think I'm missing out on any important name, but also just that people know for undergrad, you can actually only apply to either Oxford or Cambridge. You can't apply to both.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not the right choice. But anyhow, what did you end up like? You got into all the schools.
No, I actually got rejected from LSE.
What?
Yeah, I think I got an upgrade, but essentially,
Obviously.
yeah. But I mean, I think LSE is a great university. I did want to go there, but I think it mainly came down to my personal statement. I was applying for kind of broad social sciences courses everywhere, and LSE did not have a very similar course. So I ended up applying for public policy, but my personal statement was all social sciences. So it obviously didn't align at all, and I got rejected. But yeah,
But it was just focused down to UK.
yeah.
Wait, were you the COVID batch?
At school, yes. So I didn't. The last time I went to school, like excluding for exams, was in 10th grade. We didn't have.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You didn't do 11th and 12th.
We did it online.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but then your college was all
Yeah,
offline.
I mean, yeah, uni was unaffected by COVID. So
How was your experience at Cambridge?
I loved it. I think so. When I finished school, I was a very, very different person compared to how I am now. I was very underconfident, very shy. Graduated school with like 2 friends. I was 20 kgs heavier than I am now because the only thing I used to do was study. Like I genuinely had like no life beyond academics, which is not the healthiest way to live your life in the hindsight. I think Cambridge changed a lot for me because so at school you're used to being the smart kid, right? But then you go to Cambridge, everyone is a smart kid. So you're kind of forced to develop a personality beyond just being smart. And I realized that I was more than just academics. I started kind of going out, socializing a lot more. I started like getting into like running, played badminton at my universities, like badminton club, just things like that. And eventually I feel like I kind of developed a lot as a person. So yeah, I think that was the most rewarding side of Cambridge for me, just kind of living alone and then being able to discover who I am as a person. But also there's like the academic side as well. Like you only realize that once you leave Cambridge, but there is so much you learn just because of the conversations you're having with people. You really get to talk about your subject all the time. You engage critically with material, and that's something that's appreciated. Like at school, if I disagreed with anything that was taught in class, that wasn't received very well normally. But at university, that's actually actively encouraged. They want you to critically engage with things rather than just accepting what's being told to you. So yeah, I think Cambridge was just amazing. I do miss it.
Talking about the getting into Cambridge experience. So you said that you were shy. Does that mean you were not doing like clubs and all at that time, or like whatever was in the school? But also did COVID help?
COVID helped a lot, mainly because I had to do 2 different curriculums at the same time, right? And because I wasn't really going to school, and I mean, we had classes online, but you could just turn off your camera and study on your own. So essentially, I was able to study the entire day on both of those curriculums.
AP as well as CBSE.
Yeah, and it would have been very, very difficult if I had to go to school from like 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. or whatever the timings are.
You think AP is the reason you made it to to Cambridge?
I mean, that's just the eligibility criteria. So you need to have that just to be eligible for an interview. So I wouldn't say that's like the reason, because I mean, a lot of people applying, they have like IB, A levels. So if you do those curriculums, you don't need to do APs. So that was just to kind of meet the eligibility criteria. But other than that, you have like 2 academic interviews where they just grill you. They ask you so many deep questions about your personal statement that you would not have thought about. They give you kind of academic passages to read on the spot, compare them, comment on them, things like that. And for an 17, 18-year-old student not sure of themselves, sitting in front of Cambridge professors answering those questions, that can be very daunting.
God, that was like part of the interview process?
Yes. So you're being interviewed by professors. So that is very
They
intimidating.
give you like a passage to go through.
It depends on the subject you're applying for. So for STEM, they would actually give you like problems to solve in front of them. For humanities, it can be just talking about something to do with your subjects. A book you talked about in your personal statement, they might touch on things to do with that. For me, I was given two passages to read and compare them, and I was panicking, so I didn't like read them, and I started blabbering. So everyone thinks they butcher their interviews. I think I butchered my interviews, and I was so sure I wasn't going to get in, but eventually, I always think that what's meant to be will happen.
Did anyone help you through the entire process?
Um, I mean, not directly. So obviously, like just having your friends support you, your family being there, all of that helps. But yeah, not directly.
So you did all of this by yourself. How did you get to know about like APs and all?
It is on the website. So if you look at eligibility criteria, it is there.
Basically just went on the website
Yeah,
and saw
it is on the website. But I think people realize too late. Like even for me, if I had looked it up like one day later, I would have never made it to Cambridge. So I think there is a bit of an information gap.
That's what we're trying to break here.
Yeah.
I mean, someone who's watching this who's 15 or 14 right now, it's like a gold mine for them. Like just getting to know that there's something called APs.
Yeah. I mean, it was the same for me. I was so surprised. And I feel like if I would have like spread it out over a number of years, if I knew it earlier, instead of doing like 6 APs in 1 year, it would have been so much easier for me instead of having to like work every single day from 9 a.m. to midnight. Like I would not have had to do that.
Okay. There are a lot of people choosing between, in fact, my cousin asked me this 3 days ago. He had an option to go to a state school where he said that I'll practically not be going to the school, but I'm going to a state board and I'll get a higher score in state board than CBSE because I'll get a lower score in CBSE. And IB, I don't even want to consider because I'll get a very low score in IB. So what would you recommend to my cousin who is right now in class 9th?
I personally think that if you're judging things based on the outcome, you're doing something wrong. Like, I would say kind of judge it based on what those curriculums entail, what you would enjoy more, what you think you'd.
At class 10th, they basically know nothing.
Come on, I was in class 10th like 5 years ago.
What? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, they know more than you think they do.
But then the choice that they have right now in front of them, first choice he has, should he leave maths? That's his important question.
So I left maths after 10th. Again, it depends. So there are some career opportunities that you would not be able to. So for something like quant, which makes a lot of money, is something I can never do because I didn't study maths. But then when you think about it, the percentage of people who end up getting those kind of offers is already very small. So you have to be really, really good at it to be able to get it. But I think for most careers, the maths you study until grade 10th is enough. So yeah, I think it would be quite hypocritical of me to sit here and tell people to study maths when I didn't study maths after grade 10.
But do you think it was important? It would have helped if you studied maths.
If I had a completely different career trajectory, maybe, but also I don't like to think in that frame because you just never know what could have happened.
Yeah, okay.
We could have been sitting here, I could have been struggling with maths, and I could have been just talking about how I should have. So I actually took PCB first in 11th. Yes. And then like 5 to 6 months later, I dropped it like 6 days before my half-yearly exams because I hated it so much.
So you just did humanities for 1.5 years, basically.
Yeah. And then I had to like study so much in those 6 days to be able to sit those exams. And at that point, I feel like it was the right decision. So yeah, I don't like to kind of think. I feel like you can make a lot of judgments about yourself in the hindsight, but you make decisions at one point in time based on what you knew at that time. And I feel like it's a bit unfair for you to judge yourself based on that. Like I like to kind of treat myself with a little bit more empathy than that.
I need to learn to do that. I keep thinking, what if I did that in retrospect? What if I did that?
I mean, it's quite cliche, but everyone always says that try to kind of see yourself the way you see like other people. Like, would you tell a close friend the kind of harsh things you tell yourself? I would assume probably not.
Yes. Is there anything you wish you knew before applying for DBA?
I think so. The way they advertise the program is quite appropriate. Like they're not selling anything misleading to you. So the program has kind of like met my expectations. So nothing of that sort. I think the only thing I can think of is that so in a way the program is quite intense, not in terms of like the requirements from it, but when you think about it, it's 26 people, 26 ambitious people living in the same building for
Oh,
9 months, going to classes together from 9 to 5. I think it can get a little bit intense, and it's also a bit weird in the sense that your friends and colleagues are essentially the same people, uh, and that kind of creates some not even issues, but it's something that you might not have dealt with before. So just thinking if that's something you're comfortable with. A lot of them end up staying in Dubai after DBA,
oh yeah.
and
If like everyone stays in Dubai, that's a different thing. But if you guys move countries, if you need something, yes, you can text them. But then,
but I mean, you would be surprised. So I've gotten to meet so many ex DBAs as well because DBA organizes a lot of opportunities for current DBAs and ex DBAs to mingle, and you would see how close knit of a community it really
oh
is.
wow.
Even like there are people who are in Dubai who did DBA earlier, who I would like meet for brunch with, go on a run with. So it is a very small community.
I have an important question. Who should not do DBA? Like, who should not apply for DBA? Let's
Okay.
not let people waste their time. Who should not do it?
So I would say that DBA is a bit more breadth over depth. So the classes you're having, they are good, but they are not going to give you a very kind of deep technical foundation. So for instance, you're not going to be able to learn a lot of financial modeling in the 3 days you've had financial modeling classes, right? So I would say that the program teaches you a lot about lots of different things, and you develop a lot in terms of your soft skills. But if you are looking to kind of specialize in one area that's quite technical, I don't think this is the right fit for you. Also, I mean, this goes without saying, but if you don't see yourself living in Dubai, DBA is not the right fit for you. Also, I think that they really care about someone who's humble. Like they don't want someone who is not able to think about the larger picture. So if you, I mean, it might be hard to admit to yourself, but if you struggle with humility, I think you'll have a tough time here.
Interesting. Is it for the entire cohort?
I would say so, yeah. Because you work in teams so much. Like you don't want to be the person nobody wants to work with because you're a difficult person to work with, you know. And also, you make a lot of decisions based on kind of what's good for the entire cohort, and you have to think about that as well. Like we're told all the time about like shared success, like that is said to be like one of the core values of DBA. And if you're someone who could struggle with that dynamic, I think things might be difficult for you. But I think, yeah, the most important thing would be it's breadth over depth for sure. So if you're looking for deep technical expertise, this might not be the right program.
Are you planning to go back to UK? I think.
I mean, I always say never. It's not what I have planned now. Like right now, I'm looking for opportunities in Dubai or Abu Dhabi, but in the UAE. But I never planned to move to the UAE, and it happened. So I'm quite open to just moving anywhere in the world if I find the right opportunity. But at the moment, no, I think Dubai is a good fit for me. It is a good bridge between the East and the West. It's close to home, but it also has a lot of opportunities. It's very, very diverse. It's very safe. So yeah, I like living here.
Any tips for someone who is right now making their DBA application right now?
I would say try to speak to someone from DBA.
You're gonna get a lot of messages after
I
that.
already get a lot of messages, but yeah, try to speak to someone from DBA to really understand how their experiences were like. Um, Try to kind of see their application, see what they did. But I think when I think about my application, I had a very consistent story about why I wanted to do this. I was talking about kind of balancing ambition and authenticity, creating a space for women, female empowerment, And my story was very consistent. Like if you look at what I did at university, I was the Women and Marginalized Genders Officer. I was co-president of my college feminist society. So my story felt real because it was real and it was very meaningful. And I was able to tie it to why I want to do DBA. So I think if you can think of a real story about why this is the right move and can really come across as authentic, I think that can really make you stand out.
So you would want people to be more authentic.
Yeah.
Any other tips? I think one tip I would want to give people would be just apply to a lot of places and make good applications. Not just I applied for the sake of applying, took 10 minutes of my day and applied to 10 places. But like took 10 minutes to send one application. Like it took time to send every application and just shooting more darts.
Yeah, especially for a program that's quite unique. Like you can't just, copy and paste an application for this.
I get a feeling that all the programs like these are unique in their own way. And you can't copy and paste for any program.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they like it when we're specific. So if you're able to talk about, again, the specific placement partners.
Anything about the program, this person was there, or this thing you teach, or this, anything or everything.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how intense does DBA get?
It really varies. Like it depends. So I would, if I had to give an overall rating, I would say like 6. The academic phase is very chill. Personally, I would say it's like a 9 to 5. Sometimes you have to do things outside of that, but that's not a lot, except like during the assessments. But again, that's like 1 week in many months. So I would say pretty chill. With the consulting projects and the placements, it depends on your placement partner. So I did my placement at Emirates Literature Foundation, which was relatively chill. So it was mainly a 9 to 5. But then there are people working at like Emirates NBD or Emirates where there is a bit more high pressure and you would work longer hours. So again, it really depends on which placement partner you're working with. Yeah.
So a 6.
Overall, yeah.
And compare it to Cambridge, where are you keeping Cambridge?
Also a 6. Like, I honestly feel like high school was the most intense period of my life.
Yeah, because you were doing 6 APs in 1 year.
Yeah, true.
Like, you didn't even divide it 3-3. You did 6 in 1 year.
Yeah, so I would say high school was the most intense. And I feel like the Indian education system puts you through a lot. So once you've done that, everything else...
Everything seems easy.
Yeah.
If you had to apply again, would you do anything different in your DB application? Although you already made in. But anything different you would write in your application?
Honestly, no. Yeah, no.
Did you need LORs?
No.
No letter of recommendation.
I would say the process is quite straightforward. CV, cover letter, video, 2 interviews, and that's it.
A bit about video. What are you doing in the video? You're talking about...
So it's a 90-second video. You're just
talking
like kind
about
of pitching
your
yourself, and like it's really just bringing your CV and cover letter to life. So they want to kind of see you as a person.
Can you do that 90 seconds right now? Like just... It's so important for these guys.
Okay. A couple months ago, I read a book called Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office. Essentially, the book talked about how women make a number of mistakes to jeopardize their careers. And it included things like having long hair, talking too softly, compromising too much, being too accommodative. And I didn't think I would... I quite disagreed with that book, because I feel like women shouldn't have to change what makes them to be able to kind of succeed in the corporate world. That's why I think the Dubai Business Associates program is the right fit for me. While I don't remember the name of the author, but I said, while so-and-so said that nice girls don't get the corner office, I want to show how nice girls should get the corner office and prove that they can. That was kind of the spin that I had.
That was so good.
That was the whole spin, but I don't remember the exact things I said. But my video was titled My Pink Blazer Moment. And I think I have built my personal brand on how you can balance kind of being feminine and humble and essentially quote unquote nice while also being someone who's ambitious and wants to achieve professional success. So that was my personal brand. And I brought that into everything, my video, both my interviews, because that is essentially who I am. So when I said I wanted to be authentic, that is what I did, even if I was not able to capture that.
you remembering stuff that you said a year ago and instantly being able to say all of that, that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. Like, everyone would benefit so much from that.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so much for
much.
that. You know what I loved about this? You did not talk about your CV, or you did not talk about the cover letter that you're already uploading.
Yeah,
You talked
yeah.
about literally something that they did not know about you,
Yeah.
but that was so important to you as a person. The worst thing that I feel like people do is when they're submitting these 90-second videos, or whenever they are asked to do something like that, they go through their entire resume.
Yep.
I am Murad. I did my school from Jammu and Kashmir. Then I went to Delhi University. I also went to US. I also went to UK. And this is, they already can see that in your resume.
Exactly. And then it gives you then it gives the interviewer something to talk about in the interview. And I was asked so many questions related to that. I was like, can you talk me through your leadership vision? Who would you say is your role model? Which leader do you admire? Things like that. And because I was talking about something so authentic, the interview also became so easy because I could talk about it so openly and easily.
Same thing happened with me and my Oxford interview. In my Oxford interview, I talked about how I am not good with managing conflicts, and I'm having like a spat with my co-founder for this thing. I actually talked about it, and my entire interview was on that.
I think especially because that's not something people would normally say, right? Like, why would you go out there and say something that can be perceived as negative about yourself?
But then that's just so organic.
Yeah.
That makes you human. Thank you so much for coming and giving your time. I know your program is very intense, and I took time off your Sunday. So sorry for that, but thank you so much for that. Any last parting tips for young Ritika?
Firstly, I want to say thank you so much for having me. I would say just chill. I think I was such an overstressed child. Like I would say that my anxiety levels then were much worse compared to how they are now, even though now there's more at stake. I'm older and things. So obviously there's more at stake now. But eventually everything will work out. Just keep working hard, do things with the right intention, and what's meant to be will be.
If you enjoyed this video, I actually made a full podcast about getting a job in Dubai in management consulting. That video you can watch from here. जाओ देखो and subscribe करो यार. अभी तक subscribe नहीं किया.